Hey everyone, you're listening to Nerd Boys Comic Book Podcast. I'm Marco.
I'm Charles.
And today we're going to talk about the weekly comics that came out this week, which is, May 2nd? 3rd?
Today is May 3rd.
Oh, May 3rd. We're talking about
2017.
the new comic book releases for May 3rd, 2017.
We got a new Archie this week.
Yeah! Did he get with Betty or Veronica this time?
You know what? It's Susie.
Susie.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I don't even think there's a Susie character in Archie universe.
I only know Betty, Veronica, and Sabrina. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, she's an Archie Comics character.
Say what? So, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, can we fit like Buffy in there somewhere?
You know, I don't think... we'll find a way. Crossover.
Okay. But no, comics for this week.
Yes, we're going to talk about Secret Empire #1,
Ooh.
All New Guardians of the Galaxy #1,
You read that?
and Batman #22,
Oh, man.
Part 3 of The Button.
The button.
So which one do you want to start off with?
Oh, you know what? Guardians. Let's get that out the way.
All right, we'll get the one that I care about the least.
Okay, I don't even care. Like, I know they're doing this just because the movie is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because as you were telling me earlier, there's, for some strange reason, Groot, he doesn't grow anymore.
Oh, yeah, he's a baby, just like in the movie.
Goo goo gaga.
And this is, like, straight up just trying to get the movie audience to read the comics. It's, like, the most blatant... We're in a whole new area. We're not even in the territory we were with Bendis. Like, all his run, forget that. This is the movie.
And then 3 issues later, it get canceled, and then people are going to be like, wow, okay, I start buying these books for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, they have like 3 different Guardians books this week. I only picked up All New Guardians because I felt like maybe this is the time to start.
It's all new, all different 2.0.
Yeah. Starting off from the beginning. Comic starts, there's a big planet. It's like a planet that's just a bank.
Is it Ego the Living Planet?
No, it's not Ego.
Okay.
But it's a big planet that's a bank, a lot like the Doctor Who episode that this is kind of ripping off.
Or Treasure Planet.
Or Treasure Planet. And it's the most secure bank in the universe, and they have these huge vaults or whatever. All of a sudden, they see Galactus in the sky, and the whole planet's trying to evacuate. Turns out it's the Guardians. They're using a Galactus mech.
What?
And the entire planet has evacuated, so they now have their chance to break into the vaults. They do, but then you find out that Drax is now a pacifist. And also, Groot is a baby.
Okay. Goo goo gaga.
And apparently they picked up this contract from a shady person Gamora talked to.
Of course.
So Gamora's now just shadier than ever.
Because, I mean, of course she wasn't shady before.
Yes. By the way, Peter Quill has this really distracting beard.
Why is it distracting? Like, does it have a mind of its own?
No, it's only distracting because when you think of Star-Lord, you don't think of, like, this weird bearded dude. You just think of, like, this charming Chris Pratt lookalike.
Oh, yeah. Until, like, the next movie or so, Chris Pratt slowly start growing a beard.
Hey, Ego has a beard in the movie, so you never know.
Yeah, he's his father's son.
Yep. So they go out, eventually they get caught, the ruse is discovered. They escape the planet and meet at the rendezvous point.
Okay.
They're in space, Peter's talking about like, man, we all really changed ever since we left Earth. Because at the end of Bendis' run, they were stranded on Earth, and apparently we're just time skipping, and everyone's at a new point in their lives and a new status quo.
Wow.
So basically that's them saying, hey, let's ignore that previous run, like completely. 4 years of comic book history? Nah, new place. And
Thank you, Marvel.
yeah, thanks Marvel.
And Obama.
And then of course, there's a giant fish monster that eats them.
Okay, my level of, like, interest into this comic is, like, a -4. I'm just like, okay, let's get this over with.
Yes. So they've been eaten by this giant fish monster in space.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, basically Pinocchio, or Kingdom Hearts,
Which got that from Pinocchio.
which got that from Pinocchio. Oh, or Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, yes.
They're walking inside the giant fish monster, and they discover who actually was the contractor. It's the Grandmaster.
He was able to... Whoa. What?
Yeah, it was the Grandmaster, one of the elders of the universe, and he has his own collection, aside from what the Collector's doing. And you know how the Collector just collects everything. Grandmaster's like, my collection's more sophisticated.
Yeah, of course.
You find out that what the Guardians really stole was like this kind of like a mini micro universe contained in a bubble. And if the bubble ever broke, that universe would engulf our universe and create its own universe. So I don't know if that's Marvel trying to be like, if ever we want to, we could do this, we could break this bubble open and start over from scratch.
You know what you have right now? A potential $50,000 comic. Because no one else probably going to buy it. It's going to fade out, and then it's going to be like, you mean tell me this one comic 10 years ago?
This one comic that seeded the plant, seeded the ideas.
2027. Marvel just had to plant this seed many years ago, and it was just sitting there waiting to be hatched. Literally.
Yeah, in 2099, they're like, Marvel 2099? No, forget that.
Oh, God.
But anyway, the collector, he had actually bought this thing. So before it could get to him, they stole it from the vault. And now the Grandmaster's like, I'll tell the collector you stole this from him, unless you steal something else from him, and then I'll keep it a secret.
But I mean, they'll just be back to where they started, because he can always be like, well, tell him you stole these 2 items. I mean, it's crooked. Oh, God.
Yeah, they can always be double-crossed at any moment.
Well, then there'll be a quadruple cross. Would it be triple cross?
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
It'll be a triple cross then.
It's more than 2.
Yes.
More than 2 crosses. And then by the end of the comic, you find out why Groot hasn't grown back yet.
Because they need him to stay a baby for the movie.
No, not just that. But someone's been planting parts of Groot in this giant field. So that's been taking away from his energy, and someone is growing a Groot army.
Wow. Next comic.
Okay, something much more interesting. Let's talk about Secret Empire #1, which is probably one of my favorite comics from this week.
We stand with Marvel, the only good book they probably... I'm just going ahead and say it. The only good book they have right now.
Yeah, I mean...
Besides like Thor and... Yeah, the Thor...
Renew Your Vows.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Too. But, yeah, this right here... I mean, for a newcomer coming in, it's like, hey, you probably know that, like, Captain Hydra is not doing too well. Here's what's going on with that. Because I believe this is going to be a universe-changing event.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hopefully.
By the end of this, everything's going to be like a whole new place again, like every summer event.
Playing cards right, Marvel.
Oh, yeah. But we open up with a massive America that's just run by Hydra now.
Hail Hydra.
Instead of the Pledge of Allegiance, kids say Hail Hydra now.
Oh, man.
We have this big thing of like showing you that America's really screwed up right now because Cap, he's in control, he's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's turned all the helicarriers into giant Hydra tentacle things.
Okay, yeah, he didn't need to do that. Like, why? Why? What's going on, Steve? Did you really? You could have just stuck, like, a Hydra symbol on the side of the helicarrier, like, bam, there we go.
No, but it's funny because they do put Hydra symbols everywhere else in the comic.
Oh.
It's like America's just like, bam.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. And there's this kid who is going to school. His older brother is an Inhuman. Spoilers. And the kid really wants a Captain America lunchbox. So the older brother, he Google searches Captain America lunchbox, something. And his Inhuman ability is that he can kind of like spit up the things that he sees. It's something weird like that.
Wow.
But in the classroom, the kids are talking and they're like, oh, your brother's a weirdo. And Captain America says to report any suspicious threats. Mm-hmm. So in the classroom, they're being filmed. And then the Hydra authorities are like, all right, we're going to go after this guy. He's an Inhuman. Mm-hmm. And that was like a weird thing that happened at the beginning of the comic, but it really shows you the totalitarian state that everything's in. And then you cut forward to a kid in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Who is kind of on the run. And he's been contacted by a mysterious source, and he has to join this underground revolution. He's on the run from Hydra agents, all this stuff, and then Amadeus Cho shows up out of nowhere. Totally awesome Hulk, busts up some Hydra agents, the rest of the champions show up. It's a pretty amazing introduction. Everyone's happy, everyone's flying around. Well, not happy because the world's being threatened, but everyone busts some heads. They introduce themselves to this kid that they just met on the internet.
Yeah, which is always safe.
Yeah, and they fly away in the Fantastic Car. By the way, Falcon and Riri, I didn't know this, but they're champions now.
What?
Yeah, like the new Falcon and Riri Williams, they're in the team.
They meet the age requirement. I thought you meant like Cap Falcon. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
He's a little bit too old for this group.
Yeah, no, it's just all the young kids have actually joined the champions now. So they fly away in the Fantastic Car. And then you find out that Ben Grimm was the one who gave them the Fantastic Car and their secret hideout, which is actually run by Clint and Natasha, Hawkeye and Black Widow.
This is sounding really good. Like
I haven't even got to like the Captain America part where like he shows up and he's having a little war council meeting with all his buddies.
Oh.
His Hydra buddies, and everyone's like, all right, we can put this, because the whole thing about fluoride in the drinking water. Yeah. It's like, we can put this mind control chemical in the water to make everyone a little bit more docile, a little bit more willing to accept Hydra until we come up with a better formula. And Steve's like, okay, whatever. And he's basically kind of like giving in to them a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he's still deep down like kind of like, I'm doing this for the right reasons, right? And then he's having dinner with Sharon Carter, and Sharon's like, I don't believe this is the real Steve Rogers. Something is wrong with you, and if you are the man I love, show some compassion. So he goes to Rick Jones's cell, who has been imprisoned because he hacked into Hydra files and is actually the one who gave that kid from Los Angeles, or not Los Angeles, from Las Vegas some files, some secret Hydra files that might show us or allude to some kind of way that Steve could be reverted back to normal. And Rick Jones is like kind of taunting the new Hydra Cap and being like, you know what? Was it weird when you dressed me up as Bucky? Did that feel weird to you? It felt weird to me. And Cap's like, I'm doing this for the right reasons. If you want to pardon, you have to say you're sorry. You don't have to mean it. I just want to spare you from execution. And he's like, yep, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna do what's right, and you've always been my hero, Cap, and you will always be my hero. And that really just crushed Steve Rogers on the inside, that he couldn't help this guy that actually formed the Avengers, more or less.
I mean, he was the Coulson of the comic book universe.
Yeah.
I mean, for him, because I know what happened at the end of this, because you told me, to see, just hearing from you right now, what leads up to that, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Rick Jones literally has always been there. Like, he is the perfect character to be in the position that he's in now, to show, hey, you're a hero to us, and look at what you're doing. Look at what the actions you're taking to make the world a better place.
Yeah, he's really screwing things up. Not only that, but he's also locked out all the cosmic level heroes.
Yes, I know about like the force field around the planet.
Yes, and he's sending wave after wave of Chitauri to fight them. Carol Danvers sent out a message to Earth and was like, you can't trust Captain America. He's now the biggest threat to the world, and we're locked out. We can't get back in, and we're facing wave after wave of attacks, and we just can't take it anymore.
Wow.
And I think issue 3 is going to pick that back up. Issue 1 ended with more or less the execution of Rick Jones, and they also show you Tony Stark's AI has kind of more or less given up hope of fixing Steve Rogers. The kid, Rayshawn. So the kid Rayshawn, he's the one from Las Vegas. He has some files that might lead to Steve Rogers becoming good again. AI Tony Stark really doesn't give a fuck. He throws that disc in his Thursday pile, and it's like, I'll deal with that on Thursday.
I like how AI, who still have all of Tony's personality, is like, not today. Like, what's today? Sunday? Yeah, so...
Funny enough, it's Monday, and he's fixing the air conditioning instead. That's got a higher priority than fixing Captain America.
Well, I mean, for this story to be the way it is, where this entire time Cap has literally been like, Hydra Cap, and he's been sitting amongst us this entire time, and we didn't even know. Everything that happened in Civil War 2, do they know that he took certain
Yeah, it looks like they've done a little bit of digging into the whole thing.
Okay.
Because he mentions, like, at first we thought he was a clone. Found out that was wrong. Then we thought it was mind control. That was wrong, too. We lost a lot of lives.
For AI to actually care about what's going on, the situation is bad.
Yeah. And it seems like he's kind of drunk. Even though he's an AI, it's like something about him is making him act like he's kind of drunk.
Yeah, he had that, 5 o'clock, shadow, like he hadn't shaved in a couple of days. I'm like, you're AI. What the hell is going on with that?
You're a hologram. You should be able to shave or something.
Hopefully everything goes well for Tony. I know it's rough for him. He's not in his own body. He got to deal with one of his best friends. Again, pretty much, having to fight him.
Yeah.
And it not being a Civil War title.
I mean, I'm glad it's not a Civil War title.
Yeah, they would have ruined that.
Yes. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the next 2, 3, 4 issues that are going to come out. And it seems like it's going to be almost weekly, bi-weekly.
Okay. Did they say how many issues it's going to have?
If I remember correctly, it's like 7 or 8.
Okay.
If they keep the schedule up, it'll be done.
And they don't get delayed.
If they don't get delayed again, like they have for the past 2 events, it should be done by the fall.
Wait a minute, even Monsters Unleashed was delayed?
No, I'm talking about Secret Wars and Civil War 2.
Okay.
Monsters Unleashed was totally on time every time.
Well, of course, because no one cared.
Yeah, the one event everyone should have read but was too tired to read.
I feel like any event that Marvel's like, you need to pay attention to this. All eyes on this event. Oh, we got a delay. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't afford to have delays when it's something, especially Secret Empire. Like, no. This right now is going to conclude whatever happens to Nazi Cap. We need to know what happened without you screwing it up.
Yeah, but shall we move on to The Button?
Ooh.
Batman number 22.
I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I read that right before we started this podcast, and it hit me like a bag of bricks. Wow, okay. I would have to say, this is like the first half of the year. I mean, we haven't hit the 6-month marker, but already a 4-issue event is the best event of this year.
Basically.
Yeah, like Secret Empire, it's one of those.
You also have to remember Superman Reborn.
This is better than that. I'm sorry.
All right.
It was nice to know about Superman, but it's one of those like, okay, it's not something we wanted, but at the same time, it's like, oh, that's nice. They're together. But like with this whole Button situation, we've been wanting to know about what's been going on. We've been needing to know what's been going on since freaking like May of last year.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad that they've kept this really elaborate mystery box. Usually I hate mystery boxes where it's just like, there's a mystery and you have to like tune in each week to find out what happens. But this, I'm just like, no, I like this because it's kind of like in the background, but everyone else's stories have been able to like unfold.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, for instance, like at the beginning, Titans, they had like little breadcrumbs there, and I've been dropping this like little morsels. Now it's like, okay, you can finally get a slice of this cake. We're not gonna let you get the rest of the cake, not until later. And I'm like, that's all I need for you to dab back into it. Like, honestly, it's like if you read pretty much DC Rebirth, and you did start reading some of the other comics and you just fell off, this book was perfect. Like the whole, like, you know, just starting up from like, what was it, Batman 21 where it started?
Yes.
Yeah, like just pick up Batman 21, Flash 20...
I think also 21.
Yeah. And it's like you get back into like, okay, what's going on? Okay, they're now finna talk about the Button. These situations are unfolding because of the Button. It's like, whoa. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Batman gets to meet his own father.
Oh yeah. So we're picking up
Flashpoint universe.
Yeah, we're picking up the Flashpoint universe.
Emotional.
It's very emotional, really. We're going back to the Flashpoint universe, and it's like some force has been keeping this timeline alive. Barry Allen, he comes to the Flashpoint universe with Bruce Wayne, and the first thing he says is like, this isn't right. Flashpoint isn't a parallel world. It's a different history.
Of course, because the Flash would know.
Yes, because he can feel the vibrations. And he's like, this feels like our world, but that can't be possible. So someone is out there keeping this universe alive just so we could have come here. And then you have Thomas Wayne. He's being hunted by the Amazonians and Atlanteans from the Flashpoint universe. And he has this idea. It's like, I'm going to kill him by being a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
And he sees Barry and Bruce, and he's like, all right, I got to talk to my son. And they exchange an intimate moment of like, Father, I have so many questions. Bruce, I've done everything for you. This is all for you. Batman is everything I've tried to do has been for you, my son. I should have been the one that died in that alley, not you.
Oh, see how well that goes.
Yes. And then we have a little bit of babble between Barry and Bruce of like, how is the universe staying alive? All this stuff. Let's rebuild the cosmic treadmill so we can get back to our universe. We have a little bit of a Batman team up between Bruce and Thomas Wayne, which is really cool because Thomas picks up a gun, Bruce throws a battering at the gun, and is like, no, do you have any other defenses like EMPs, anything like that? It's like, no. Then we're using our fists.
No, he was like, no, I'm not like your mother. I don't plan ahead.
Yes.
To hear that, I read it, but to hear that in my head, it's just like, wow. Like, it's funny because, like, okay, maybe I'm weird, but, like, as I'm, like, you know, reading it, as I'm reading, like, Batman lines, I'm thinking of,
Kevin Conroy?
Yeah, Kevin Conroy. I don't know. It's late. I'm tired. Don't mind me. But, like, as I'm reading, like, you know, Thomas, I'm reading in Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Like, this,
oh, yeah.
Like, this how I'm reading it. Like, he's everybody's father. I don't care what story it is, what timeline. He's everybody's dad. And he was actually Batman's dad. Oh, God.
Yeah. And then they actually go back and say, like, Bruce, last time I saw you in this cave, do you remember what I said to you? And he's like, I don't remember because you were whispering. And then we'll get back to that in a little bit, but they have a little exchange. And before they go back to Earth Zero, which is the DC Rebirth universe.
But is it Earth Zero?
Yeah, it's Earth Zero.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it is.
Marco's like, is this something you don't know, Charles?
I read Multiversity. Yeah, but before they go back to their own Earth, Bruce tells Thomas Wayne, I have to tell you, you are a grandfather now. I have a son. And Thomas goes quiet for a while, and then he has to say to his son, Bruce, you can't be Batman anymore. Be the father to your son that I couldn't be to you.
You know what sucks? Batman is not going to do that.
No. He's like, yeah, about that. I have a Robin. I have like 4 Robins.
I know. He took his own son and, I mean, he turned himself into Robin. But still, like, this is the reason to stop.
Yeah.
Oh, God. He's not going to stop being Batman.
No, he's not. I'm sure there'll be like a story arc where someone's going to go and be like, you know what? Let's see what Bruce would do if he listened to Thomas. By the end of the story arc, it'll be like, no, I am Batman.
No, I want Bruce to live happily ever after. Like, I am so sick and tired of him being Batman and like, I mean, I'm enjoying the Batman stories, but he needs to stop. It's time to stop, Batman. I'm sorry. You need to live your life. That's a lie. Well, no, we just, give the reins back to, Dick Grayson.
Yeah, but Dick Grayson's too busy being Nightwing.
Slinging his penis around.
Yeah, slinging his name around.
I mean, because there's too many beautiful women in the DC universe. Gotta be somebody to take care of them.
Oh, yeah. And of course, we get the destruction of the Flashpoint universe. By the time they get on the cosmic treadmill, Barry's like, this universe is falling apart. Whoever kept it alive is now just letting go, and all the energy is just dispersing. So Thomas Wayne is left in the disintegrating Flashpoint universe. And you flash back to the moment where they're in the Batcave, and it's really awesome. He says to Bruce, Waynes, we always fall, but we always rise back up.
And it shows him as he's getting back up. It almost like running towards you, but then the universe is disintegrating. It's just like, listen to your dad. Bruce Wayne, listen to your father. Be a better person. Which, of course, we know he's not. Because they're not in comics.
You can't have a Batman story without Batman, except for all those ones that are without Batman.
Yeah. And they actually did pretty good.
Yeah, like Nightfall, every Dick Grayson Batman story.
Yeah. Commissioner Gordon, he took over as Batman. Those wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Do it. I don't. You weren't reading comics, Charles. Shut up.
You weren't there, Charles. I was there. I saw everything.
Yeah, speaking of seeing everything.
Apparently, Eobard Thawne, before he was murdered by Dr. Manhattan, or maybe not Dr. Manhattan, before he was murdered in Batman 21, there's a earlier version of Eobard Thawne running with a button, and he says that he saw God, he saw the power of God.
No. He saw the man. No, he saw the man of the power of the button. Wait a minute. Whoa, we got it right here. Great catch by Charles. Very athletic. Not really. So, he has said, you have no idea the things I've seen, Alan, the places I've been. I know who the power of the button belongs to, and they've never faced someone like me.
Ooh.
Now, of course, this is before he quote-unquote seen God and got scared out of his wits. So I'm wondering if he's seen who owns the power of the button, or you think he's seen who owns the power of the button, and him saying God is two separate people.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, because everyone keep thinking Dr. Manhattan is in control. I still think that that's like a false hair. Like, we sitting here, we're going to be chasing him, and it's not true. I feel like Dr. Oz is like not even an important character. I feel like there's a third player that we don't know who it is.
And it could be Rorschach. I don't know.
No, God, no. I feel like Dr. Manhattan could possibly be in prison. Someone is, using his power with some weird device and somehow depowered Dr. Manhattan. And I feel like it's someone that they haven't introduced yet.
Yeah, it could be. Or like a reoccurring Watchmen character come back from...
No more Watchmen characters.
It has to be a Watch. Well, I feel like it has to be.
The reason I say I don't want it to be a Watchmen character, because it's like, how in the world did they get here? Like, Dr. Manhattan, I mean, he's the only powered being that was there in that universe. It's perfectly fine with just him being there. You start bringing in other characters, how did they get here? Oh, Dr. Manhattan make them? Why did he make them? Is there a real purpose for them being here? If it's explained well, then yeah, I'll go for that. Other than that, no.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan working together just because of what they did at the end of Watchmen.
Oh, yeah. But
any other character like Rorschach, the only reason I could see Rorschach coming back is if he gained some kind of powers from being exploded. Like if a little bit of Dr. Manhattan rubbed off on him.
Oh, so everyone else who he exploded should have some kind of little power.
All those Viet Cong really should have Dr. Manhattan powers too.
Of course.
Or if we're going by my logic.
Yeah.
So my logic is flawed.
I'm not knocking your logic, but it's like one of those, like, maybe because Rorschach was, like, mentally not there, it worked out so well.
Yeah, that could have been a thing, too. Or maybe they destroyed that persona of Rorschach, which left his true persona out there. I don't know, some crazy thing. Which I'm sure Jeff Johns could write a better story about that.
Well, he is writing something now. We just jump in and think it's like Watchmen because he just showed the picture of Dr. Manhattan. We don't really know. It could be like Rebirth issue 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping we do get like some kind of continuation and maybe, pick up on every other story that has been picked up on, like the Three Jokers,
yes,
Legion of Superheroes, the Justice Society, and what else was there? Dr. Fate coming back.
Yeah, what's going on? I don't read Atom, but do you know what's going on with Atom in like the micro universe or?
Ooh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, Like that was in like that's one of the things like that I've always thought about that Rebirth issue. Like, hey, what's going on with Adam in that universe? I know he has a Rebirth book, but it came so late. It was just like, ugh.
I don't know if I should start this one or just wait for the trade. I'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's one of those books where it has its own story to tell, but I wonder if it plays a part to like the bigger overall story.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it has to because Jeff Johns wrote it in DC Rebirth
he wrote
number
it for
one.
a reason.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's one of those people, anything he writes it for a reason.
It's either going to come into play later or he's trying to retcon something or set up a retcon. Like maybe, the microverse is part of the multiverse.
Oh, I hope not.
Hyperspace and all that stuff. Remember hyperspace?
No.
It's kind of DC's way of being like, every timeline exists because of hyperspace.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not going for that.
No, it's really complicated. And if you've read like Multiversity and you've seen all the maps, it gets complicated really quickly.
At least they have a map for it.
Yeah.
At least they can explain it. Unlike, another company who just decided to be like, oh, let's put a teaser cover at the end of our most crappiest event of 2016. No, it actually ended earlier this year, so 2017.
Yeah. Jesus. Civil War II ended like January this year.
Yes, when it's supposed to end October of last year?
Yeah.
Oh god, that sucked. It was a summer event that ended in the winter of next year. But this whole button situation, there's one more issue, right? That's left for the button?
Yes, one more issue.
Yes, Flash 22. And I'm curious to see what takes place in that book.
Yeah. It could go full circle with this. It could just be like, we're going to start back with Thawne, Eobard Thawne, going back to the Batcave, and then we have some weird paradox going on.
And they run, Flash and Batman run into, their other selves, or they get there at the time that their previous selves leave.
Yeah, and they have, some other encounter with Thawne, or maybe even Psycho Pirate's mask could have some kind of thing there.
Okay, yeah, you're trying to make him an important character.
Psycho Pirate is important to some extent, but not really.
No, I just believe it's just another false crumb that we're following.
Oh, maybe.
It's a dirty breadstick that fell on the floor, and we picking it up thinking that it's a good one, but it's not. It's like DC wants you to look at it and be like, yeah, go ahead, have that breadstick. Like, no, it's been on the floor. I feel like it could happen full circle, and these 4 issues were literally nothing but tease us even more. And we're just sitting there waiting what was all this about?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to see, Bruce Wayne going to see his father. Thawne, he's back into the picture, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly he can never die because it's always another version of himself in some other timeline. But this may be that moment. And then they're going to bring him back when they need him because, his power works well with the story.
You can't have an event without a Flash dying.
Of course. No matter what Flash it is.
It could be Reverse Flash, Flash, Kid Flash.
They're like, let's kill off the other Wally West. Which one? The young one. Oh, okay. Which one? Don't make me say it. Say it. The black one. Yes! But overall, these books, Batman and Secret Empire, they were good. I really enjoyed those.
Yes. If I had to pick, I would burn All New Guardians.
Yeah.
Not literally burn it, but I would say skip it.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Empire number 1. If you're interested in Marvel and where they're going, pick it up. If you would rather take a vacation from Marvel, I'd say you can do that. But Batman number 22, definitely a pickup. If you are reading DC Rebirth and you've read Flashpoint, it's totally worth it.
Same here. I say if you are taking a break from Marvel, at least pick up Secret Empire. Just follow that storyline until the wheels fall off, which is 7-8 issues.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they've always extended their events by another issue.
Yeah, because there's always more to tell to a story. But I think it's great. Secret Empire, just from this, issue 0 had me drawn in. So seeing what this is, I'm hooked. I just want to see where the story goes. And DC right now, Flash, Batman, Superman, Action Detective, they're all good. Yeah, even Aquaman from what I've heard.
Oh yeah, surprisingly.
I know. So pick up these issues.
Pick up any DC title. You'll probably like it. Except Justice League.
Yeah, I can't even approve of that one. No.
Yeah. Maybe Justice League of America. That'd be a better pickup.
That sounds like a better pick for Justice League. Or Trinity, which I heard that's a short run.
Probably going to be a short run.
Yeah.
Shorter than we would hope.
I know. But one thing I can't say, DC don't have too many. They have a lot of titles, but it's not to the point where it's like it's overflooding the market. They literally have a book for someone,
Yes.
and I can enjoy that. Like Batwoman.
Oh yeah, Andrea actually picked that up today.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is that another review that I smell?
Maybe. But do you think that's it for this week?
I believe that's it for this week.
All right. I'm thinking of calling this Comics Overhaul.
Comics Overhaul. Hiya!
I'm Marco.
I'm Charles.
See you guys next week. Peace.
Next week.